Okay. Morning, everyone, and I'd like to open the meeting at 10:15. I do want to note that we have Councillor Brendan Seawright online, and we have...
Good morning.
Good morning, love. And could somebody move a leave of absence for Councillor Davis?
And just to confirm, 9:15.
9:15.
9:15.
You said 10:15.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
Yep.
Sorry. I
I'm
read
happy to
9:15.
move that apologies be received and a leave of absence granted for Councillor Amber Davis for this meeting.
Seconded by Councillor Hancock. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. All right. On that, I'll just adjourn the meeting for a moment. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mary.
We'll reopen the meeting at 9:36, and if someone could move confirmation of the minutes for the ordinary meeting on the 16th of July 2026. Councillor Brompton.
I move that the minutes of the meeting of the 16th of July 2026 be confirmed.
Seconder. Councillor Flynn. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. 10.1, monthly report, meeting actions update May and June, and outstanding actions June 2026. Councillor Hancock.
I move the council receive and note the officer's report as presented.
Have a seconder. Councillor Vincent. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone like to, would you like to speak, councillor? Anyone like to speak? All quiet today, okay. We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. It's still here, there must be something else. 11.1, debtor management policy. Do I have a mover? Councillor Brompton.
I move that Council 1 adopt the debtor management policy as presented. 2, note that the adoption of the debtor management policy repeals and supersedes all historical policies relating to debtor management.
Seconder. Councillor Vincent, would you like to speak, councillor?
Just to say that this is a consolidation and update of our policies, and it came to a briefing to discuss, so pretty happy with where we're going with it, and I commend it to council.
Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. .2, Audit and Risk Committee meeting report, the 8th of June 2026. Councillor Brompton.
I move that council receive and note the update from the Audit and Risk Committee meeting held on the 8th of June 2026.
Seconder. Councillor Hancock, would you like to speak, councillor?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. This is one of our regular reports that we're now receiving from the Audit and Risk Committee, which we're very happy to have the detail in there. I'd just like to note that the procurement issues are still remaining, and there's been some tighter focus on those again this year with QAO as well, so there's more work to be done on that. And also of note is that we have a new internal auditor appointed, O'Connor Marsden, so they'll be our internal auditor for the next few years. So everything else is in there.
For 3 years?
Yeah, 3, I think 3 plus, yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? Councillor Vincent?
I was just going to speak on it if...
Oh, yes, yeah, you can speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly thank the committee and the staff for putting this report together. Just having a read through it, it's very open and transparent for anybody that's interested, for here at the table as well as the public. I just think there's excellent information in there about what's going on in the background. So thank you to the staff and the committee for putting this report together for us.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great report. It's shows how the 5 hours go by.
Yeah, it's probably the, to make the comment, it was having experienced external people that we've got on there.
It is.
They're identifying opportunities to improvement there, and one of the ones there was the business continuity. And just since that last meeting, that was one of the ones there with our business continuity. We do it in disaster management, we do it very well in that space, but in terms of your high risk areas there, it's something that Andrew and Brett and Ruben have been working with there too in that short period of time. So we're looking at having a business continuity plan developed. But again, just having that external experienced people on that audit committee, really zeroing in on how opportunities to be better as an organisation.
They're very smart, yeah. Councillor O'Neill.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm going to speak in favour of this. Just when it comes to the adoption of your minutes at the next audit committee. Just a typo on page 3. Just, oh no, it's not, I beg your pardon. You wouldn't have seconded it, Rob.
No, it's because we've got.
There's a
Rupert
Haywood.
Haywood.
Yeah.
I
yes.
take that back.
I
Mayor,
brought it up
the,
last time, didn't I?
this is I think this is a really good example of a audit and risk committee that's working. The changes that we made to see a majority of the committee independent from council, while having 2 councillors sitting on the audit committee, has been the right decision, and we have obviously heard from the state previously that this is an example that they're pointing to in terms of what they would like to see other local governments do. But the report's thorough. It's evidenced by the minutes that you are getting into the nitty and gritty of audit and risk, which can be quite dry, but an important committee of council to ensure that there is that independent lens over our finances and to ensure that we as a council are operating how we should from a financial perspective. And so I think this is a really good report, and I can see there has been a consistent improvement from day dot when we introduced this to now. So all credit to you. And thank you to yourself, Mayor, and to Councillor Brumpton for being our representatives on the audit committee.
I am improving, I have to admit. Does anyone else like to speak? Would you like to sum up, councillor?
think I need
We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. Thank you.
Thanks, Ruben.
13.1, Wall of Fame inductee for consideration. Councillor Flynn.
I'd like to move that council approve the inclusion of Ritchie Lucht on the Wall of Fame in recognition of his achievements in BMX racing and his representation of Australia at the highest level of competition within this discipline.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Burkett. Does anyone have any questions? Would you like to speak, councillor?
I would like to speak. We have in recent times had some discussions with regard to the Wall of Fame criteria eligibility, and Ritchie, in the work that he's doing in the BMX racing, has met those criteria. He's part of a very well-known local family, and on behalf of council, I'd like to congratulate him on the work that he is doing and the effort he's put in to get to where he is in this sport today.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Burkett.
Yeah, I'd just like to follow on from Councillor Flynn. I think this family's just recognise their sacrifice too. I think they have to travel a lot of kilometres, and I sort of keep up with it on Facebook. So he's definitely put the hours in, and he's getting another rewards. Yeah, it pays dividends for it. So fully supportive.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. 13.2, Wall of Fame inductee for consideration. Councillor Flynn.
Yes, I'd like to move that council approve the inclusion of Jed Price on the Wall of Fame in recognition of his achievements in duathlon and his representation of Australia at the highest level of competition within this discipline.
Seconded by Councillor Burkett. Would you like to speak, councillor?
Yes, once again, like to offer congratulations to Jed on becoming an inductee of the Maranoa Regional Wall of Fame. I think it's pertinent to note that in the time frame that Jed competed in the World Championships representing Australia, that he actually did become a world champion. And I think that's, given we're working with the Commonwealth Games and going through that at the moment, his work in the sport that he has chosen has been an excellent effort for the reward that he has put into it. So once again, I'd like to recommend that Jed Price be included in the Wall of Fame.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. 13.3, adoption of the Maranoa Sport and Recreation Strategy 2026-2035. Councillor Vincent, declaring conflict of interest?
Yes, I'd like to declare a conflict of interest in item 13.3, adoption of Maranoa Sport and Recreation Strategy 2026. The declaring councillor is myself, Jane Vincent. I inform the meeting that I have a real conflict of interest due to my sister-in-law Fiona Vincent being Secretary of the Injune Community Development Association, who has been consulted during the process of developing the strategy. I consider I can act impartially and will remain in the room as the strategy is a regional strategic document and this group will have no more or less a benefit if the strategy is adopted.
Thank you. Do I have a mover?
Move.
Councillor Flynn.
Thank you.
Oh, there's another one. Sorry, Mayor, there's another
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry?
declaration.
Uh,
There's another conflict of interest.
Beg your pardon?
Is that another interest,
There's
councillor
another
Burkham?
conflict of
sorry.
interest.
Oh, I didn't have you down. Sorry, Councillor Burkett. When
no,
you're
sorry, I
ready.
was a bit
That's okay. When you're ready.
typical boy.
Sorry.
Item 13.3, adoption of Maranoa Sport and Recreation Strategy 2026 to 2036. Declaring council myself. I inform the meeting that I have a material personal interest due to being the president of the Mitchell RSL and Combined Sports Club. It's listed in the report along with all the clubs under that governing body, one of which is the Mitchell Rugby League Football Club, which I'm also the president of. I will now leave the meeting and not participate in the decision.
Thank you. Is there somebody else as well?
Looks like there might be.
Oh, it's a
Oh,
case.
spare one in
Yep,
case.
yep.
Councillor Burkett has left the room. Councillor Flynn?
Yeah, I would like to move that council adopt the Maranoa Sport and Recreation Strategy as presented.
Have a seconder? Councillor Vincent, would you like to speak, councillor?
Yes, I'd like to thank the staff for the way that they've approached this developing of the Maranoa Sport and Recreation Strategy. There's been a lot of work go into it. There's been a lot of discussion with various groups in the Maranoa region, and I think it's a great document that will take us through for the next 10 years. Hopefully that the achievements of Maranoa Region Council and the participants in sport and recreation in this Maranoa region will be recognised into the future.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Vincent?
Yes, I'd just like to thank the staff too for the work they've done, the consultation that occurred around our region to put this strategy together. I think for sport and recreation for this term of council has been very important to get the coordinator back on staff, and I think this strategy will be a great document to help the staff going forward with the sport and rec groups in our region. So thanks, Dee.
Thank you. Councillor Hancock?
I just have a question.
Yes.
Just noting on page 116, and noting there has been extensive consultation. Was no sport and rec from Surat interested in providing feedback? They were obviously. I know they would have been asked.
Yeah.
And so via email or phone calls, or like how would we reached out to everybody?
We started with emails with the general, we want your feedback. And then once we got the feedback, we reached out again via email, and we did call the group that we wanted to meet face to face with. And then we went back out by email to say, follow up, we've extended the time, feedback, and then the groups that provided some feedback to put into the strategy, we then provided them the strategy for further feedback on what we developed.
Yeah, thank you. I assume that it would have been all covered off perfectly, but I just wanted to ask the question noting the report, and it's just you can only provide community members the opportunity to have feedback. And Mayor, if I may just continue to talk.
You may.
Fully support the sport and recreation strategy. It is a good strategy, and those community groups that have been consulted and have provided the feedback, thank you so very much to them, because our strategy is only as good as our community who puts forward their ideas and their opinions, and then that can be carried out. This strategy is not for all of council to carry out. It is a community strategy, so there is opportunities and responsibilities for other organisations in our community to assist us with this strategy. But I think it's a really great sport and recreation strategy that will support our community going into the future. So thanks very much to the staff and your work involved.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Would you like to sum up, councillor?
Yeah, I'm very happy with this sport and rec strategy coming to fruition, and possibly just to answer some of Councillor Hancock's queries, there was a relevant amount of discussion with council staff in the Surat area that's gone into this particular document as well. So once again, thanks to the staff and thanks to all the organisations who supported us to get this to where it is today.
Thank you. Thank you. On that, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
7-0. 13.4, adoption of Maranoa Arts and Culture Strategy 2026 to 2035.
Just got to get Councillor
Oh,
Burkett
sorry.
back in
Yes,
first.
sorry. Councillor Burkett is back in the room. I'll go again. 13.4, adoption of the Maranoa Arts and Culture Strategy 2026-2035.
There's a conflict of interest again, Mayor.
There's a conflict of interest from Councillor Vincent.
Item 13.4, adoption of Maranoa Arts and Culture Strategy 2026-2035. The declaring councillor is myself, Jane Vincent. I inform the meeting that I have a real conflict of interest due to my mother, Janice Humphreys, being the Secretary of Cultural Heritage in June. Cultural Heritage in June was consulted during the strategy process. I consider I can act impartially as Cultural Heritage in June will not benefit any more than any other group in the region that the strategy aligns. So will stay and participate in the decision. I will manage this conflict by acting impartially and considering benefit and strategic direction of the entire region when making a decision.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Brompton.
I move that Council adopt the Maranoa Arts and Culture Strategy 2026 to 2035 as presented.
Seconder. Councillor Hancock. Doesn't say much for a lot of work, does it? Would you like to speak? Councillor?
Yes, Mayor. Mirroring a lot of the words, obviously, that were said for the sport and rec strategy, but certainly with arts and culture as my portfolio, it's been a pleasure to be involved in this consultation process, and I'd like to thank the staff for all the work they've done and for all the community groups that have had input as well, which they all appreciated, I know, because speaking to some of the groups, they were very appreciative of having input to this strategy. And it will position us for not only council strategic priority issues and where we might do funding into the future or make decisions that don't even involve funding sometimes. It also positions those other groups if they want to make funding applications that align, and it can assist those groups as well. So I'm very happy to see this strategy, and it's great to see the concept of having all these strategies aligned as well with a similar look and feel. Makes it easier to read and a lot easier to align things together with our where we're heading as an organisation. So I commend this to council.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak?
Could I just ask a question, and probably should have asked it in the last discussion. What's the plan for council to get these documents out now to the various organisations?
Council, I have to speak to that. Yes, once it's adopted, council will distribute it out to, and also with the arts and culture and sport and rec strategy, we'll distribute that out to all those ones that we've consulted with, and basically confirming that council has adopted the strategy. It's exactly what we did with the visitor economy strategy. So that'll, and I think there's some tremendous opportunity for us as officers now to spend some time with those community groups to align their plans with this plan, so we can help them achieve some of their goals as well.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Councillor Burkett.
Yeah, just to follow on from that. So, for argument's sake, if there's something obviously needs changing, or does that have to come back to re-endorse if it's a modification to that document now that it's been passed?
Yeah, that's correct, Councillor. At the moment, you're hopefully adopting this today. Once it's adopted, and I'm sure we'll see opportunities to come up later on to possibly amend strategies over time, but that has to come back to you at this table to make those decisions.
Any strategy is a living document, so it's always
Yeah.
open to feedback. And certainly, if there is that and there are needs periodically come up for change, we'll document those and periodically bring it back to council, for an update.
Yeah, because I'm not sure about the arts and culture, and I can't talk about the other one, but in that other one,
We can't talk about that.
well, just generically.
In the arts and culture
if-
one.
With the changeover of committees and you're going to get changes yearly, so it is, yeah.
Councillor Hancock.
Bear in mind, this is such a high-end
Level.
document
Yeah.
that anything that should really be able
Is
to fall
underneath.
out of it.
Yeah.
Just my question, just to follow up. I do understand the respect to go back to the organisations that have been involved in the process, but probably for all the strategies, I would be thinking that we would also be emailing them out to or sending them to, letting them know all the organisations, because sometimes even though they don't have the, they don't think that, they might not have thought they had anything that they could contribute to the strategy, doesn't mean that they might not be interested. And I think it's actually a really good show that council is doing this and council has set up this and these are some of the priorities. So I would like to see that it actually goes to all the organisations that are under that,
Whether they contributed.
whether they've
to it, yeah.
contributed or not.
So, councillors, that's the intent. We've done that for the visitor economy strategy. I don't see it any different for this one at all. Just because people haven't contributed doesn't mean they can't be advised of our strategy.
Yep.
In addition to that, it's going to be publicly available on our website as well. So,
Yep, that's great. So just to add to that, once again, great strategy, good process. I'm really liking the strategies on the page. I think that they will be utilised a whole lot more. Thanks to the staff for all your hard work and for the engagement, and thanks for the organisations who contributed to the strategy once again for the arts and culture. Thanks. Looking forward to getting some projects out of these, getting the action plans. That's where the real fun starts, is the action plans that come out of these.
Anyone else like to speak? Would you like to sum up, councillor? All good? All right, let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0.
thank you, councillors.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
13.5, approval of the 2026 selective inspection program. Councillor O'Neill.
I move the council resolve to approve the 2026 selective inspection program under section 1131 of the Animal Management Cats and Dogs Act 2008. 2, determine that the purpose of the program in accordance with section 1135A of the Act is to monitor compliance with dog registration requirements and regulated dog provisions. 3, determine that the program will operate from the 1st of September 2026 to the 30th of November 2026 in accordance with section 1135B of the Act. 4, determine that the program applies to premises within the townships of Amby, Injune, Jackson, Mitchell, Muckadilla, Mungalala, Roma, Surat, Wallumbilla and Yulbar, where authorised persons reasonably suspect dogs are kept. 5, direct the public notice of the selective inspection program be given in accordance with section 114 of the Animal Management Cats and Dogs Act 2008, and that the approved program be made available for public inspection and purchase for the duration of the program in accordance with section 115 of the Act.
Have a seconder. Councillor Burkett. Does anyone have any questions?
Probably lucky we're not in Tara's included. All their staff will be there.
Would you like to speak, councillor?
Thanks very much, Mayor. I'm happy to support this. I think I've supported this every year that it's come to the table that I've been here. I think this is an initiative, a very important initiative for council to undertake on an annual basis. This isn't about the responsible dog owners of the region. It's those that are not compliant. And we have local laws that dictate that if you are within, the townships, that you have to have your animal registered and you have to have, the required number of pets or dogs in this case. And so I think it's important that we undertake this inspection to make sure that people are doing the right thing, because Since we reintroduced this some years ago, we have seen a reduction in the issues around roaming dogs in our towns. We still get them. I get that. The staff are nimble enough to deal with those issues when they present themselves, but this is an important illustration that council takes our responsibility serious in terms of managing the dog registrations of our region, and we want our residents to do the same. I encourage all councillors to support the adoption of us undertaking this program in 2026.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Vincent.
So I fully support this program as well. I think the stats in the report speak for themselves that it is required. Now, I think our community expects for us to do it, that it does only affect the ones that aren't doing what they're supposed to do. So I think it's really important for us to continue to support this program to ensure the safety of our community.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? No? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. Thanks, Annie. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
13.6, request for the use of Roma sale yards for event Wall of Fame. Do I have Councillor Brompton?
I move that council approve the use of the Roma sale yards. It may no longer be Bullring, but I'll say Bullring. For Laura Frank's You Played Where live music tour event, subject to standard hire conditions and payment of the hire fee.
Seconder, Councillor Vincent. Does anyone have any questions? Councillor Hancock.
Yeah.
Well, two now, but one of them is, they're not needing the kitchen or anything else. It is just that bull ring that they're using.
Through the chair, yesterday the performer Laura Frank conducted a site visit at Roma Sale Yards and indicated that she would prefer use of the grassed area due to the fact that they will be holding some line dancing workshops. So that's in regard to the bull ring versus other areas. Secondly, no, she will not be using the kitchen.
Well, then I suggest we take the bull ring bit out of it, because my next question was going to be, how are we going to clean up after a bull sale and then get that ready
It's not
for...
on there.
The bull sale has since been cancelled.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask a question now that it's not the bull ring? Is there a high fee set for the grassed area, and does it match the high fee for the bull ring, which is in there also?
My understanding is that there's no set fee for hire of the entire facility, keeping in mind that Laura Frank is a commercial and therefore not a non-profit. She is not eligible for a fee waiver. So that hire fee is the higher fee for a bull sale if that would happen. So it's on par with the payment that a bull sale would be using.
Just through you, Mayor, Rob, is this something we need clarification, because it's not in a fees and charges register?
Yeah, just lay on the table to later in the meeting, councillors, so give the chance to go back. I think the question was, George, is obviously we got the bull sale one there. Is there like Bassett Park, we have like machinery alley, different bits and pieces there. Unless we've got that, we can go and
Councillors,
check with them.
I don't think there's a fee for hiring of the grassed area at the sale yards, to my understanding.
Is there a fee under our hiring of the sale yards facilities?
Not
There
have
is
to lay it
there
on
is
the
no
table for
separate
them to
fee
find
for
an
hiring
appropriate
of the sale
fee.
yards.
Yeah. And this may be the most appropriate one, but just want confirmation
Yeah.
of that. That's okay.
Can I move to lay this on the table and later in the meeting to determine an appropriate fee and a new resolution?
Seconder, Councillor Hancock. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0.
We just don't need a seconder for laying it on
Oh,
the
sorry.
table.
I knew that actually.
It may not need a new resolution, but it just
Yeah.
might be that's the only one we've got.
Well, the resolution says bull ring.
Yeah, we just want to say just specify there and use that figure there. But yeah, we do the same for Bassett Park with machinery alley, and I think the question just to come back is that no, there is no one there. We just retidy that wording up to say that identify the area leasing, but I think the dollar amount's right.
So, councillors, just in your schedule of fees and charges, there is a fee there that talks about booking fee, includes complimentary hire of PA systems, $286.40.
We just tidy that wording up then. If we take it to bullring, and yep, that sounds like you've got identified the right way to do it. So
Because there is other events that be are held out there.
Correct.
And even though they're not, might be not for profit and they might be waived, it's still a cost to council. So there'll be some. I think there'd be something.
I think that's just that wording of the bull ring. If we just tied up, I think that the amount's going to be probably right. The dollars is right. It's just probably the.
Councillors, Georgia's got a fair bit of a commitment today. Just wondering if we might be able to get an estimated time of when that might be back on the agenda, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you.
I think we can get that wording sorted. Maybe we can handle
Straight
it
after
ourselves
morning
anyway.
tea.
George is tied
Sorry,
up.
straight away.
You just,
Right after
you can pull
morning
it back.
Yeah.
After morning tea?
Yep.
Yeah.
It was still later in the meeting, so
Yeah.
it's at the point in which you've got it, you can bring it back on.
Yeah, and I think
Whenever she's ready.
Yeah,
I'm
we might bring
sensing
it, we
from
might
the
bring it
room-
back straight after morning tea, if that's okay.
yeah. If George is tied up, mate, we can handle it anyway. I'm sensing from the room that was probably the main question. So
I did have a question, which it's unorthodox
We can
ask
make
now
it
because it's been laid
morning
on the table, but if George is not going to be here, can I ask her now?
Yeah.
When was the request issued to council to hire the venue?
It's a,
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
at least a month ago, I would think, councillors. When Georgia originally came to me, it was probably about that. I'm having a bit of a
we can
guess.
confirm that as well.
And the reason I ask that is I have no problem with this, right, when it comes back. But the performer's advertising already and she's selling tickets for the venue and we haven't signed off on it. And so a month lag time seems awfully long, right? And so we might have to look at a way to deal with this more, because what the risk for us, right, if we decided today to say no, there are already tickets being sold.
But the councillors, that they were well aware that we hadn't taken this to council. That's a risk they put on themselves if that's the case. In relation to a month time frame between when we were contacted and when we brought this forward, it wasn't finalised what she was doing or where she wanted to go. So
Right.
there was a fair bit of consultation with her before we brought this to you as soon as we can.
It's pretty finalised on her website where she's holding the event, because it's a series from wherever to, like it's not just coming to Rome. It's
Yeah, correct.
you can book in Chinchilla and wherever else. Anyway, it's just
All right, thank you. We'll move on to 13.7.
Is it still on the table?
Yeah.
Till later in the meeting.
Yes.
Is the matter still on the table, or have we got a motion for it now?
They'll come back.
they've got to put
No,
the
no,
wording
no, this is for the
together.
next one.
No.
No.
No, I was asking about that one.
Oh, okay.
Because at one stage we had a motion to lay it on the
It's
table.
on the
It's
table.
laid on the table.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to you straight after morning tea with an alternative resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I thought you were asking about
No,
this
no.
one.
I was going to ask you.
Right.
Yeah, no, thanks, guys. I'm happy to move to the next meeting. If you wish.
13.7, development application, material change of use, home-based business, plumbing business, storage, and dwelling house, domestic outbuilding, 126 to 132 Northern Road, Roma, reference 2026/21801. Councillor Flynn.
I will move that we lay this matter on the table to later in the meeting for further discussion with the planning group.
All those in favour of laying on table for later in the meeting?
Yes.
8-0.
Beat me thunder. Stole my thunder.
Yeah, I was trying to work that one out. I think it's from top I moved it. Yeah.
13.8.
13.8, development application, material change of use, multi-dwelling, 5 dwelling units and operational works, 27 Major Street, Roma, reference 2025/21475. Councillor Flynn.
I will move the officer's recommendation, Part A, the development application for material change of use for multiple dwelling 5 units located at 27 Major Street, Roma, Queensland 4455, described as Lot 2 on RP 2034 be approved, subject to the listed conditions and general advice. And then if we move over to page 203 in the minutes, item B, the council issue a preliminary development approval for operational works located at 27 Major Street, Roma, Queensland, described as Lot 2 on RP 2034, subject to the listed conditions.
Have a seconder, councillor Brompton. Does anyone have any questions?
I have a question.
When you're ready, councillor O'Neill.
Through the mayor, Danielle or Logan or Jamie, can you just speak to the structure? Is it on stilts or is it on a slab on the ground? I just can't pick it up.
Councillor, just the questions around flood.
Yeah, and the reason I ask that is because of the location and the flooding issues that we've had over, the years.
It looks like it's built up.
From the chair, the application also included the operational works component. The operational works included building the ground level up for the units to be built at ground level, but it would be higher than the existing ground level. So the preliminary approval that's included as Part B from the planning team, we reviewed the application but didn't deem there was enough information provided for us to approve that portion of the application. With discussions with the applicant, they've asked us to approve the MCU but then go back to them for the op work so they can provide us with more plans and a better understanding of how they'll manage the build-up of material on the site.
And so, follow up through you, Mayor, the build-up concerns me even more. What's that going to do for the movement of water in an area that has historically been subject to flooding?
Yeah, through you, Chair. The site is located within an identified overland flow path, so they will have to submit an engineering design that ensures that by building the site up, they're not going to cause ponding in any of the neighbouring properties. We expect that engineering solution will probably involve some underground infrastructure, so culverts probably along the boundary line that take the overland flow water in and then direct it out in a southerly direction generally as it flows now. But as Logan mentioned, the officer's recommendation supports the use of the site for multiple dwellings, subject to there being an engineering solution that ensures there's not going to be any stormwater nuisance by them building the site up. So
That's their own stormwater or
no, it's
overland flow stormwater?
It's overland flow stormwater.
From a flood?
It's not riverine flooding, but yes, from rainfall in the general area.
Councillors, from Danielle's saying is that what's been recommended today is approval of the use, to say this is what's approved, but it doesn't mean that they actually can break ground or even start. They've still got to come back for the operational works.
To who though, Rob?
The council.
That's to the operational side of council. It's that the next approval doesn't come back to council table, does it?
No, through you, Chair, the operational works application will be decided by the staff, so it'll be assessed by engineers to determine if it's a suitable solution, if they can manage the stormwater with this development without impacting on anyone else.
And Danielle, is there any, sorry, Mayor, is there any precedent of that coming back to council?
Generally, no. Operational works applications, because they're like a technical assessment, they're not like a land use assessment, they don't get presented to council typically.
Are we able to bring that back via a brief to council though for
But
council
then
decision?
we're making the decision today to give approval to do this.
Is it normal that we would do this?
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite common to have development lodged in two applications, there being two components. One is to be able to use the land, so it's zoned residential, it's a suitable site for units, but there has to be an engineering solution put in place to make sure stormwater isn't going to be an issue.
Yeah, again, their stormwater or what about flooding?
They will
Water
have
from a
they will have to manage both. So the material change of use approval, to an extent, deals with their stormwater because a lot of their site will be sealed once this development takes place. So they'll have to pipe it and manage it within their site and get it out to the street. But the overland flow stormwater will form part of the operational works application.
So I suppose, Mayor, the reason I'm asking this is now that you've confirmed that I assumed it to be on stilts. Now that's evident. Evidently, it's not what's being proposed. You build up land on that site that's going to push water because you're changing the topography of the land. You're building that up so that water is going to not go where it normally went because.
And council, that may be the challenge, that they may not get an approval basically with it because they can't demonstrate that. Can I suggest perhaps then if there's a few questions around it, you bring this back to council via a brief, just that we can sort of talk about the process there. As Daniel said, it is not uncommon that you'll have the MCU, which is actually council approving, do you want units in a residential area? That appreciate the question. We know from previous events, it's not just the stormwater, it's also the actual overland flow there from upstream there, but it is stormwater, but yeah, that does raise the water there. Can I suggest maybe you just bring it back to the council meeting via a brief? You can have a discussion around it. As I said, I appreciate all the concerns you've raised. And if they can't demonstrate how they're going to mitigate external overland flow, then they won't be approved. And it won't actually go
Is
ahead,
there a
so-
way though, Rob, we don't do this today and it all comes back to council for consideration with that appropriate
I
plan?
would strongly suggest you just say like, at the table, bring it back via a brief, and then
But,
talk about
the
it.
decisions are going to be made by council. And
I think you'd have to get some.
Can I
advice
just-
from
no, it doesn't
council.
lay it on the table. You're saying?
Yeah, bring it back via a brief.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Don't make the decision.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry, I thought make the decision and that the operational
Lay it on the table,
plan
bring it
comes
via
back via a
for the
brief.
next
No,
meeting.
I totally.
That way you can have your discussion at length about it.
Yeah.
And take on board your question there. As I said though, I've been involved in many planning applications over the years where we've approved the material change of use, which is we're approving the use, but they've actually failed to demonstrate at an operational level how they're going to manage either traffic, or in this case, stormwater, and the project couldn't proceed because they couldn't demonstrate that. Quite often they ask for the MCU first, so they can actually then spend the additional money on the
I
actual.
just can't recall one in an area that was as prone to flooding as we've experienced in the last 15
I just
years.
you probably bring it back via a brief.
But I'm sure you'll be able to show me there is one, but I can't recall one.
Councillor Burke?
Just before, it's probably going to be answered in the briefing, just two things. I agree with the material getting built up, but realistically, if it was built on a slab, that building's only a little bit smaller than the foundation. It still would divert water regardless if it was up on dirt or whatever. But with that area being flooding, because I obviously don't live down here, but is it, when it floods, is it water backing up, or is it still water, or is it water coming across that block? Does it just back up? Still water, what I'm getting at. It's not current. There's no current in that area when it's not flowing. Does it just back up?
So it's not fast flowing.
It would normally be still water backing from the gully behind where the oldest building is now.
That's what I'm concerned at, because when you say flowing across and that's got to catch it and divert it somewhere else, it's not really flowing. That water can't really go anywhere. If it's still water, it's unless they've got a pump.
It is moving. It's just not.
And we're talking about stuff that hasn't actually been lodged yet.
Yeah.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
what's been asked for today was the material change of use in terms of, are you happy with duplexes, or in this case, multiple dwellings in a residential area? So it's actually the actual use part of it. But as I said, there is another application to come in for that. But I would probably suggest if you lay it on the table, bring it back by a brief, and we can have those discussions about the process, and we can.
Yeah, Councillor Brompton, yes?
Yeah, I think in terms of that, I mean, there's a lot of information on there on page 204, and as the CEO said, that they may not be able to meet it, but it certainly talks about overland flow, and, so the engineers have to come back with all that information. But it'll be good to see that detail, I suppose. But I mean, I'm not an engineer. I'd be having to trust their advice anyway on where it goes.
I have had one councillor there too previously with the commercial business, where council approved the material change used. They're happy with it, with that type of business in that area. but when it came to doing the operational works, they couldn't mitigate the actual the long drain, and it didn't actually proceed. So, but anyway, that's my advice if you want to handle it that way.
Councillor Hancock?
Just before we do that, Madam Mayor, because I'm happy for that, but I just wonder what is the just because I haven't seen this before, but what is the advantage for someone to get the approval for, you know, yes, we're saying that yes to that, but it's all based on this? Like, what's the advantage to that? Because it could be a no anyway, and so you know, rather than it all just coming at once.
The confidence.
Yeah,
to go and
through
spend the
you,
money.
Mayor. Often applicants will just want the general support from council before they go and spend all the money on a detailed engineering design.
They could change, they wouldn't go to a
I
3-story,
understand-
but.
I understand that
like,
now. It's
what
about
you were
they could go to all that money to get the stuff about Part B, and we say we don't think that should go there.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand
And
that
they'll
now.
change their
So I
design.
think
Dated approval
Someone's
process.
happy to move that this.
You go.
Happy to move that this
Laid on the
Lays
table.
on the table.
does it
Come back
or
via
defer.
briefing.
No.
Lays on the table and come back via a briefing, please.
All those in favour?
Lays on the table to a future meeting via a briefing.
Yeah.
I knew I'd
Am
get
I
this at the
allowed
end.
to ask a question
Yes.
before we lay it on the table? Why can't we approve item A today before it goes to a briefing?
Because
Well,
some
it needs
councillors
B,
in the
doesn't it?
room need some assurance about Part B to be able to do Part A.
And you might be able to do that with the procedural motion. You've got to test that now, and then if that doesn't get support, then you can address that.
Do you want to move that?
We've already moved.
You know, you've got to do the procedural motion. It supersedes every other motion.
The procedural motion?
Which is what I've done. I've moved to lay it on the table.
Yes. So all those in favour of laying it on the table?
Yes.
Against? 6, 7, 1. Right. Thank you.
Thanks, Ross.
13.9, tender 26036, management and operation of the Wheat Shed Cafe. Do I have a mover? Councillor Brompton.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Searoyd.
Councillor
you
Searoyd,
go.
you go. I was waiting, but yep,
oh, you're pretty quiet, so I was waiting, but I'm happy to move.
yep, you can move.
I move that Council 1 appoints Dawn Talbot, ABN 482074548800, trading as Mammal Lacarte. I hope I got that right, sorry. As preferred tenderer for tenderer number MRC 26036, management and operation commercial kitchen, the Wheat Shed, located at 36 George Street, Wallumbilla, Queensland, 4428 for a period of 2 years, with the option to renew for a 2-year term. 2, accept a negotiated annual fee of $12,000, excluding GST, subject to annual CPI increases. 3, authorises the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to enter into final negotiations and execute the necessary documentation.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Vincent. Do I have any questions?
I've got an amendment I'd
Councillor.
like to propose.
Councillor O'Neill.
Through the Mayor, point 4, undertake negotiations between the successful tenderer. No, between the preferred tenderer and other wheat shed and other occupants of the wheat shed. Undertaking negotiations between sexual the wheat shed for use of shared areas,
Shared space.
shared space.
So is council managing the negotiation? I mean, how,
Yes.
yeah, I'm just wondering whether that wording should be a bit stronger.
I just wonder if it should go into
Facilitate the
CEO.
negotiations.
That's
Yeah,
good.
facilitate, yeah, yeah.
Thanks, Meryl.
Oh, and then it should be authorise the chief executive officer or delegate to facilitate the negotiations between the preferred tender and other occupants of the wheat shed. I thought about amending the last point, but it would complicate the substantive motion.
It's already in number 2 there. Bill, authorise.
But that's for
No,
the.
it's a further authorise, so it's
Oh,
authorising,
further,
no, sorry, Belle, please leave, authorise the CEO, the chief executive officer or delegate to facilitate the negotiations.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, councillor.
No worries.
Should that come
I said or
before
delegate.
number
No,
the
can't.
second one?
Can't.
Thanks, councillor.
Oh no, that's correct.
Brendan, are you happy with that?
Separate matters.
I'm happy with that. I just have a question for the CEO in regards, would we need to update the MOU agreement in any case if the negotiations had to change
If that floor,
or something came from?
quite possibly, councillor, if that shared floor space by negotiation changes, then it could alter the MOU for
I don't think you can do. I think you got to do that before you give the CEO to enter into the final negotiations, because
I'm just curious.
that
just wondered if
facilitation-
it was changing the
Yeah.
wording.
Your point's made. If we can swap 3 and 4, please. Is what I'm proposing as amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that one. Thank you.
You happy with that, Councillor Seawright? Councillor Vincent, you happy with that?
I have a question when you're ready, Mayor.
Yeah. You have a question? Councillor Hancock? Yep.
Just on page 251, I'm just double checking. Can we, for nighttime bookings for dinner as private functions, to have a private function and be open to the public after trading hours? Remind me, is there I know there's one that we can close the library and the visitor information centre off,
Yes,
but
there
is
is.
there one
Yes.
we can
Yes.
close Calico
Yes.
Cottage off as well?
3 distinct spaces.
Yeah, right. I just wanted to make sure that we could do that.
You could ask us anything. We know all those answers.
Perfect. That's okay.
Has anyone else got any questions? Would you like to speak, Councillor Seawright?
Yes, thanks, Mayor. I guess this has been long awaited from us councillors to finally complete this commercial space in the building. I'm really happy to see this space being utilised and open. There's been a little bit of controversy around the community and other community groups in regards to whether this is the right choice. In regards, I feel it is. There's lots of other people in the community that have passed on that they feel the same way, that it is going to be a successful and a welcome part of our community. To give context, this went out to EOI last year, I think, and we had 3 applicants come through on the EOI, and 2 of those applicants are other businesses in the community that they actually didn't apply for the tender. So while we can be seeing that this new cafe will be competing with some of the other businesses in the local community, the other local community businesses didn't put forward a tender to take up this commercial space. So I'm really pleased this lady is from lives in our local community. I'm really pleased that she's taken the opportunity, and since we put it out and the tender did close, I've had a few more locals actually approach me about this space, and sadly they've missed out because they didn't put the tender in the appointed time. So the interest is there. The community, the vast majority of the community are really happy to see this come forward, and I wish the successful or the preferred tenderer good luck for their new business, and happy to see support all businesses in this area, but happy to see these guys open up and get going.
Thank you, Councillor. Anyone else like to speak? Councillor O'Neill.
Thanks, Mayor. I'm happy to support this today, and thanks to the mover and seconder for including the amendment. This decision will fulfil the the goal that was put in place for the establishment of the wheat shed, or the concept of the new Calico Cottage building, as it started off being a long time ago. I know it's evolved over the last 15 years to what we ultimately see there today. I appreciate the inclusion of the element for the CEO or delegate to negotiate on behalf of council how this shared space will work, because I think this is a really important issue that will need to be managed appropriately. And we built the shed as it stands today, the wheat shed as it stands today, and there is a shared space for the commercial tenant, which will be approved today, and equally with Calico Cottage, that a long-established community-based organisation that was and continues to be at the heart as to why council advocated and contributed ratepayers' funds into this improvement and development for the Wallumbilla community. So we've got to get this right, and having this embedded into the resolution is a clear indication to both the successful tenderer and to Calico Cottage that we're taking this seriously and we want to make this work, because this is, if we can make this work, the community will benefit, and so will these entities. So very happy to support this today.
Anyone else like to speak? Councillor Hancock.
Yeah, I'm going to support this today because of the inclusion of point 3. I think that is a really important inclusion. Council invested, significant money into the wheat shed, and I would like to think that adding this commercial business into that space will actually add value to both our much-loved Calico Cottage area and the amazing volunteers, but also to our library and visitor information centre, to be able to provide different sorts of food to that establishment. Might encourage more people to stop, might encourage more people to purchase some of those amazing home-baked goods that Calico Cottage volunteers have on sale there. So I would really like to think that point 3 can be worked out for the best of both parties and the community involved, and that in a short term we'll see that it will add value to the much loved wheat shed.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Would you like to sum up, Councillor Searoyd?
No, I think it's all been said, and thank you for the team for populating the areas I didn't.
Thank you. On that, we'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. We'll break for morning tea and we'll be back at 11. Okay, we're going to resume the meeting at 11:37, and we're going to go on to later on the table 13.6, request to use Roma Sale Yards for event Lower Frank. Do I have a mover? Or did I have a mover?
Had a mover before, but but then we laid it on the table. I'm happy to move.
When you're
now
ready,
with the change.
Councillor Prompton.
I move that council approve the use of the lawn area at the Roma Sale Yards for Laura Frank's You Played Where live music tour event, subject to the payment of a hire fee of $286.40.
Seconder, Councillor Vincent. Would you like to speak, Councillor?
Just briefly, this was laid on the table. We had to get some technical advice because they had been going to use the bull ring, but when they had a look, they're using the lawn area. So that's been resolved. I think it's great that we've got an organisation that wants to come and do something different at the sale yards, and it'll be interesting to see the outcome of the event. And thanks to the organiser for looking at Roma as a location.
Anyone else like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. Thank you. The other one we had laid on the table, 13.7. We were happy to do that now. I'll just wait for a bell to bring it up. 13.7, development application, material change of use, home-based business, plumbing business storage, and dwelling house domestic outbuilding, 126 to 132 Northern Road, Roma, reference 2026/21 801. Councillor Brompton.
I move we lay this on the table to the next ordinary council meeting to receive some more information.
All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0. Thank you, ladies. We're going to go on to L1. Preliminary.
Where do we lay 13.8 on the table to?
Sorry, which one, Councillor?
13.8, we laid it on the table for further information as well, didn't we?
No, it's coming back for a briefing.
Coming back
Oh,
for a briefing.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
All right. L1, preliminary monthly financial report as of the 30th of June 2026. When you're ready, Councillor Brompton.
I'm happy to move this. I do have a question, but I'm happy to move it first. I move that council note the preliminary monthly financial report for the period ended 30th of June 2026.
Seconded. Councillor Hancock. Your question, Councillor.
Just one question through you, Mayor. With the receipt of the 80% advance payment of the 2026 FAGS grant, compared with the budget assumption, what's the monetary value of that difference? What extra have we received that we hadn't anticipated we were receiving?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Councillor Brompton, through the chair. So the actuals versus budget difference for the year ending 30th of June 2026 was 6.5 million. That's made up of a $5.8 million difference of the prepayment for next year.
So it's 5.8 million
Yeah.
different to what we had
That's
anticipated.
correct. Yeah, so that's actually 30% more than what we budgeted, because we budgeted for 50%, plus it turns out that our allocation for next year is actually higher than what we estimated, which is a really good positive.
So we've got 80%.
80% of a higher allocation as well.
So what's the remainder? What's the 20% worth?
The 20%.
How much more the finance?
How much was the whole thing?
So the 80% prepayment we received in June was 14 million. But we budgeted for a 50% prepayment. So it's roughly 6 million additional that we received. It turns out that next year's allocation for our FA grants is actually around just under 2 million more than what we anticipated, to be honest, yeah.
So is it about 17.8 million
exactly.
or something like
Yeah.
that?
How much is it?
17.8 million or something.
I just
I
didn't
just
do
did
the
the
math
sums.
on it, but
Yeah.
okay. That's good.
Thanks. The reason I asked that question was that, as you can see reading the paper, we're in a surplus of 8.05 million, where we anticipated a deficit of 1.37, and it's great to be in surplus, but I wanted to acknowledge that the majority of that surplus is really the FAGS grant, whereas the information we were given was around the great sales revenue from the sale yards and other revenue as well. But the vast majority of the surplus is just because of the timing of the FAGS grant and the percentage that we've got. So it does make us look a lot better than what we'd anticipated, but some of that will then reflect next year when we have a different amount coming into what we had first anticipated also. So that was one point I wanted to make firstly about the report as well. It's disappointing that only 62% of our capital projects were expended after we spent a lot of time trying to ascertain that we were going to have a realistic capital program. But I note that we've got a rigorous process to ensure that the carried over projects occur and that we're monitoring those as well this year. And we've tried to, in this current year's budget, ensure that we've got a realistic capital program, which we thought we'd done last year, but we didn't quite get it right. So it's a learning curve for all of us. And I suppose the other point I've got is it's disappointing that we haven't really had enough time to review this document because we only got it yesterday afternoon. So I don't have a lot of other information I can share, apart from to say that it is great that we're looking at the end of financial year to be in a lot better position than we had anticipated. And we do have the opportunity to review this again once all the final processes have been done because it's the end of financial year one, and we'll get a full analysis of budget versus actual once the figures have been finalised, and any audit recommendations or changes that have to occur.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Spencer?
Just a question just around that comment with the 62% of capital projects actually spent. How much would be still sitting committed in that, or does that show, just knowing that we've got the big projects with the swimming pool, Womblebank Gap, the Acadia Valley Road, like there is a few big expenditure items there?
23 million.
So another 23 on top of the 62? Yeah, so that's a little bit better at 80.
Yeah, which is at 50. I think we had at 52, 53 in the original budget, and we pointed out that we've also got that 24, I think it was, to come across, so it pushes up to a $70 million capital works program.
Yeah, so it doesn't look as bad.
I think out of that, the total capital works program we had last year, which we started at 106 and we revised it down to it was 88, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was all about $800,000 worth of projects we hadn't started, so we at least made a start on all of them. So
Yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
thanks for that.
Anyone else got any questions? Anyone else like to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
8-0.
Thank you.
Wendy, would you mind if we adjourn now?
No, we're going to adjourn now.
Oh, you are? Yep.
We'll just adjourn at 11:45 and we'll be back after
1:30.
lunch, won't we? 1:30. Thank you. I'll reopen the meeting at 2:09 and L2. Games on Grassroots Infrastructure Program request for council's assistance. Councillor Hancock, you have a conflict?
Thanks, Mayor. I'd like to declare a conflict on L2, Games on Grassroots Infrastructure Program request for council assistance. Declaring councillor is myself. I inform the meeting that I have a perceived conflict of interest due to Gabby Barron being a close family friend who is an executive member of the Roma Touch Football Club. The Roma Touch Football Club is mentioned in the report. I will leave the meeting and not participate in the decision.
Thank you. I also have a conflict on L2, Games on Grassroots Infrastructure Program request for council assistance. The declaring councillor is myself, Wendy Taylor. The action is, I inform the meeting that I have a material personal interest due to the fact that I'm the treasurer of the Roma Clay Target Club. I will now leave the meeting and not participate in the decision. I'll leave it to the deputy.
All right, the Mayor and Councillor Hancock have left the room, so it's L2, Games on Grassroots Infrastructure Program request for council assistance. Is there a mover? There is. Councillor Vincent.
I move that Council 1 note the officer's report by way of update regarding the Queensland Government's Games on Grassroots Infrastructure Program. 2, note that Council has previously allocated $100,000 as part of the 26-27 budget towards the In-June BMX track project as part of the Guida Laycock Park Recreation redevelopment. 3, approve the following financial contributions to be reallocated from the 2026-27 plant and equipment budget, conditional upon the projects being successful in securing the remaining co-contributions and Games On funding. A, $20,000 to the Roma Touch Football Association Incorporated towards its field lighting upgrade project. Total project value $140,000. And B, $100,000 to the Roma Clay Target Club Incorporated towards the development of its Olympic discipline shotgun shooting facility. Total project value $2.5 million. 4, approve the waiver of $780 building approval application fee associated with the Roma Touch Football Association Incorporated Field Lighting Upgrade Project. 5, support the organisations with any further letters of support or advocacy regarding the application outlined in this report.
Thanks, Councillor Vincent. Is there a seconder? There is. Councillor Flynn. Does the mover wish to speak?
Yes, I do. This is very exciting that we've ended up with 3 organisations that have been able to get their applications through to the second round of the Games on Grassroots Infrastructure Program. They across the region, with one up at Injune and two in Roma, and one's is targeting towards the Olympics in 2032. So it's a great way for our region to get involved with trying to secure up some sporting opportunities for the Olympics.
Thanks, Councillor Vincent. Is there a speaker against? Further speaker for?
Yeah,
Councillor
I'd
Flynn?
just like to endorse Councillor Vincent's remarks and thank the staff that have been involved in going through the project and programs for these three organisations, and congratulate the organisations on receiving the okay to go to the second round of grassroots infrastructure program. Thank you for the support that they've shown sport and recreation in the Maranoa region area.
Thanks, Councillor Flynn. Further speakers for? Councillor Brumpton.
I'd like to reinforce what the other councillors have said, and think it's really exciting to see that 3 projects from our region have come forward to the next round. In particular, the clay target one, that's a very large project and has significant chance of assisting with Olympics events or training, and long-term benefit for the community, because we already know we've got a world-class facility there in a different discipline. And for us to contribute 100,000 towards a 2.5 million project, I think shows that they've got a very robust application process, and council has only been asked to contribute a small amount to their project. And I hope these all get through.
Thanks, Councillor Brumpton. I too will support the resolution. Having 3 projects move from the expression of interest to the application phase is really exciting, and I acknowledge that there were a number of other applications within the region too that are worthy projects but haven't moved to the next stage. That said, we've got 3 important projects that would see significant investment into different aspects of the sporting life of the region. Some that are very important and have a symbolic aspect to them in the BMX track in Injune, and there is a huge part of that community that is back in this project, and it's wonderful and exciting to see, and is in line with Council's vision of investing in our parks and gardens across the region. And I just think it would be wonderful to see that project come to fruition. Equally, here in Roma with the Roma Touch Football Association, a small project, but one that will be really well received from the users of that particular field, a field that is a community asset in its own right as well, and have a very active association, and the volunteers that work in that association to be pushing their initiative, and so all credit to them. And of course, as Councillor Brumpton said, the project for the Roma Clay Target Club, which would elevate the facility here to have an Olympic discipline level shotgun shooting facility, I think would be an exciting win for our community in the lead up to 2032 and post 2032. And I'm pleased that Council's considering an investment of 100,000, which is a considerable investment from our perspective as well. And of course, we've been backing this project and others for the last few months on behalf of our community, and we'll continue to do that as part of this resolution as well. Any other further speakers? Does the mover wish to sum up?
No, just quickly to thank the staff for the work that they've put into this report, and to work, continuing to work with these groups. Thanks again to the groups to go out. They've asked for minimal amount of monetary assistance to get these projects over the line, so I just wish them all the best. I really think these projects are going to, lift each aspect of the sporting facilities in our region. So thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Vincent. With that, I'll put the resolution. All those in favour?
Yes.
That's carried 5-0. Thank you very much. Good to go.
Right, before we go into close, we have conflict of interest from Councillor Vincent.
I'd like to declare a conflict of interest on item C.2, description application for permit to occupy on Lot 8 on Crown Plan AP 21563, declaring councillor is myself. I inform the meeting that I have a real conflict of interest due to my niece Tanya Maudsley being a neighbour to the applicant. I will leave the meeting and not participate in the decision.
Thank you. Would someone like to move us into closed? Councillor O'Neill.
I'll move in accordance with the provisions of section 254J3 of the Local Government Regulation 2012. The council resolved to close the meeting to the public at 1:09. No, it won't be. It'll be 2:20. To discuss confidential items its councillors consider necessary to close the meeting. In accordance with section 254J5 of the Local Government Regulation 2012, the following table provides the matters to be discussed and overview of what is to be discussed while the meeting is closed. C1 is request for council to purchase land, Mitchell, Queensland 4465. C2, application for permit to occupy Lot A on Crown Plan AP 21563. LC1, selling permit application. That's it.
That's it. Thank you. Have a seconder. Councillor Flynn. All those in favour?
Yes.
How many have I got? 2, 3,
Seven.
4, 7. 7-0. Good job. We'll go out of closed at 2:45.
Happy to move. There we go.
Happy to move if we go. Yeah, thank you. Councillor Hancock. All those in favour? 7-0.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Did you call a seconder, Mayor?
Did I need a seconder? Go out of close?
Yeah.
Oh, Councillor O'Neill seconded it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going out of close, we're all good. Righto, C1, request for council to purchase land, Mitchell, Queensland 4465. To have a mover. Councillor Brompton.
I move that Council 1 decline the offer to purchase the following properties. A, Lot 2 on RP 83625, situated at 8 Cambridge Street, Mitchell. B, Lot 6 on RP 864615, situated at Elizabeth Street, Mitchell. C, Lot 5 on RP 864615, situated at Elizabeth Street, Mitchell. D, Lot 18 on M1513, situated at 62 Cambridge Street, Mitchell. E, Lot 22 on RP 214392, situated at 32 Cambridge Street, Mitchell. And F, Lot 2 RP 88835, situated at 9 Edinburgh Street, Mitchell. 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or Delegate to negotiate and enter into contracts for council's purchase of A, Lot 46 on M15114 Bypass Road, Mitchell, and B, Lot 47 on M15114 Bypass Road, Mitchell, for a combined purchase price not exceeding the valuation amount from the independent valuation report. 3, approve the budget to be reallocated from the 2026-27 plant and equipment budget.
Have a seconder. Councillor Hancock, would you like to speak, councillor?
No.
Anyone like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
7-0. C2, application for permit to occupy Lot A on Crown Plan AP 21563. Councillor Vincent has a conflict and she will leave the room.
So finish your tea.
Right, do I have a mover? Councillor Hancock.
I move that council 1, offer no objection to the issuance of a permit to occupy over a part of reserve described as Lot A on Crown Plan AP 21563 for the purpose of grazing.
2, as trustee of the reserve, authorise the use of the land be dealt with under the Land Act 1994 by the Department of Natural Resources and Mines, Manufacturing and Regional and Rural Development. 3, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to sign Part C, LA 30, statement in relation to an application under the Land Act 1994 over state land in respect to this application.
Have a seconder. Councillor Brumpton, would you like to speak, councillors? Anyone like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour?
Yes.
6-0. Could you just ask Councillor Vincent to come back in, please? Thank you. Councillor Vincent's back in the room.
Thanks, Ruben.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lynn.
LC1, selling permit application. Do I have a mover? Councillor Hancock.
I move that Council 1 approve Kelco Rural Agency's application for a selling permit for the Roma sale yards, subject to the completion of purchase of a permitted local agency. 2, authorise the Chief Executive Officer or delegate to finalise the selling permit on receipt of proof of sale.
Seconder, Councillor Vincent. Would you like to speak, councillor? Anyone like to speak? Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? 7-0.
Yes.
7-0. All right. Does anybody have any more business? On that note, I'll close the meeting at 2:49 and thank you for your attendance.